heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better. I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air. Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, and we'll always stay right outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever I'll be
Are we running in circles this morning? Does it even matter this morning? Does it even matter? It is good morning. I am telling, this when I hear sometimes we go in circles thinking that we are making waves, and of course we're making headway doing something that we have normally done before. But guess what? We constantly doing it and expecting a different result. That is what I am considering this morning.
Yeah, it's something we're considering. I've found myself in that situation actually, Mikey G, that I find myself doing the same thing, right? I want a different result, and it's just hard to make the necessary changes. It's just not easy.
Not easy at all.
No.
Differences sometimes when you make changes, it's not sometimes very welcoming.
Yes.
Not everybody welcome what you call a change. Not many persons like the changes when they are made. They don't love that, and you find what you call resistance when changes
Yes.
are made. Lots of it. And
Yes.
I can imagine 2025 starting like that, with a lot of resistance, with persons thinking that they want something else out of life, but this is not how it's going. This is not how I planned it. This is not what I'm thinking about. And for some unknown reason, it should not be going like this. And
Yes.
resistance comes because for some unknown reason, we do not like change.
All of us, change is not exactly comfortable, Mikey G. It's not always easy to. You have known how to do this thing for a long, long time. Let's just face it. You have been doing this thing for a long time, and all of a sudden, you are expected to learn new things. No.
Yeah, learning new things. Here's the thing about progress. If you
Yes.
intend to progress in life, the first thing you have to do is learn new things.
Yes. Yes.
If progress is going to take place, learning new things is a must. In fact, I am learning these things for myself, and I would say at this one, I have learned these things for myself.
Yes.
That you have to become the person. If you
Yes.
want to do something,
Yes.
you first must become the person who can do the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
Because if you're not that person, then that thing that you really want to do, you will never be able to do it.
Yes.
And then somebody say, but I'm the same person all the time. I'm the same. Yes, you are the same person. You look the same. But if you apply some change to your mindset, then you have changed your mind, which ultimately change the goals or the outcome of how you will achieve things.
Yes.
And so that's where we are today. Want to encourage somebody to change their mind. Of course, it's time for devotional by the lady Susan Long this morning, right here on Flashpoint.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and Coralie Karen, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
Lasco 1 and Up now has ARA, DHA, and prebiotics. It's a new, smarter formula. The time by Lasco 1 and Up is...
It's now 26 minutes past 7 a.m. right here in Georgetown, Cayman Islands.
And of course, it's time for our devotional by the lady Susan Long, you know, brought to us by Lasco each morning, every day.
Good morning. This is day 8. For one morsel of food, Esau sold his birthright. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. What's worth keeping? Written by Haddon Robinson. A story is told of a man who loved old books. He met an acquaintance who had just thrown away a Bible that had been stored in the attic of his ancestral home for generations. I couldn't read it, the friend explained. Somebody named Guten something had printed it. Not Gutenberg, the book lover exclaimed in horror. That Bible was one of the first books ever printed. A copy just sold for over $2 million. His friend was unimpressed. Well, man wouldn't have brought $1. Some fellow named Martin Luther had scribbled all over it in German. This fictitious story shows how a person can treat as worthless that which is valuable. That's what Esau did. Although he was a nice enough fellow, Esau was a profane man because he sold his spiritual birthright for one morsel of food. Only when it was too late to undo his wretched bargain did he realize that he had sacrificed the permanent on the altar of immediate. We had better be careful of the bargains we make in life. Our culture places a high price on what is worthless and throws away as worthless what is of eternal value. Ask the Lord to help you discern what is worth keeping and what is best discarded. The little choices we must make will chart the course of life that we take. We either choose the path of light or wander off in the darkest night. Our quote this morning reads, "Why pay the high price for this world's bargains when eternal life is free?" End quote.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509. Need help to produce your podcast? Flashpoint Media makes it very easy. We can relieve you of the headache by recording your podcast for you. So, take the first step to getting your content to your desired audience. Contact us here at Flashpoint and your podcast will be live in no time. Our website is www.flashpointmedia.ky or call us at 345-321-6969. That's 345-321-6969.
Of course, indeed, it is flashpointmedia.ky right here in Grand Cayman Islands. So much to do, so much happening. It is. Mm.
Hearing me, a lot is happening.
Yes.
And I always, I used to blame. I used to say, you
Maggie,
see,
what's
Maggie
going on?
G,
Yeah? What's going on?
right?
No,
And
no, that you have no one to blame.
not that I have no
No
one,
one to blame.
but I can blame myself.
Yeah,
I want to
blame.
say a special good morning. I have, there are still some persons, believe it or not, Mikey G, who used to be connected to us every single morning on the breakfast hour. And when Beryl came, Beryl just mash up their meds, meaning that they would have lost internet access.
Lost their connection, and they are trying
Yeah.
to get it back.
Yes,
They're trying to get it
and
back.
I have good news. There are a few persons, yes, Mikey G, there are a few persons who just got reconnected like yesterday. Can,
ASAP.
can you imagine? Can you imagine that,
Wow.
Mike?
After burial for so long a time, persons were expected to get back their utilities, their lights, not just utilities, but the light.
Yes.
I think they had running water, but no light was available for many persons
Right,
who were living in some rural areas or even urban. I don't think everybody got within the urban areas as well same time.
right.
But of course, easier access to the services.
Yes,
And so we realized that some persons didn't have no ability to make contact. And if they do, the service providers cost so much as the alternative method to do the same thing that it was crazy for persons burning money through the old through people's pockets. And I think that it was a deliberate act in some way that some persons make more money by not bringing back the service in time for some. But of course, one would have lost some amount of revenue because then this is where you would have to make your money from. But I want to say welcome back to the breakfast hour, and of course to be here once again. And we are happy to have you joining us 2025. Still
yes, yes,
being
yes,
alive.
yes, 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 yes. Welcome back, Ola Uno. Very good to see you. Very good to know that you're there, even if it's virtually. Um, I don't know. There's so much that you missed, but have no fear. YouTube is here. Have no fear. YouTube is here. And of course, you can always go back, but of course, we have fresh bread every day.
Every
It's
single
like,
day of the week.
wow,
Fresh
fresh
bread.
bread every day. And so, of course, today is no exception. And of course, Dr. K will be joining us quite soon
Yes.
to give us some tips that we need to make us healthier
And
in
better
2025.
for 2025.
And Mikey G, on that note, I'm having my
Wow.
mint. It's actually in its organic form.
Mhm.
Yes, it's not packaged, fresh from the tree, right? Um, Steeped in some in some hot water.
Fresh
And
from the tree.
tell you, I know you can't smell it. I know you can't taste it, but I'm telling you, the aroma. I'm like, you know, what did they put in this? God, you are an
Listen,
amazing
listen, listen, listen,
God.
listen, listen. When I grew up on what you call it, bush tea. Bush tea.
No wonder your head's so foggy. Sorry, I take that back. Did I just say that?
Bush tea.
Yes,
Bush tea. I grew up on bush tea, right?
yes,
And I will tell you that when I go back into my mind of all the different things that my mother would make for us in the morning to go to school,
right,
and it would be uh, prepared for us, would be prepared for us. And
right,
then we say, we don't want no bush tea because we wanted the other teas that were made.
yes,
But yet, see, when I grew up, that's where I
yes,
went back to get some of those bush tea that I grew up on because I remember how good it used to taste, even though we were complaining.
yes,
It leads me back to the mindset that we always complain no matter how good something is.
yes,
The human being experience is always that. Always. As we prepare for Dr. K this morning, of course, some earthquake tips and advice for some of our people. Because while we prepare for hurricane, earthquakes are not usually so much talked about. And so we
yes,
like to let you know. And of course, when we come back, we want to bring you some very interesting topical issues and talk about a little bit of what goes on in our world on this day, the 8th day of January 2025, while we're still alive.
Earthquake call and say, hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, earthquake. I come in Tuesday around 10. No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it comes, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't really know we are in the exit. Stairs might block up are full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, all gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or bed or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take for yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't want to run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
Welcome back this morning, of course, to the breakfast hour. And indeed, it is another beautiful Wednesday. It's Wellness Wednesday. Ladies, what's going on today in our neck of the wood? And of course, on this day, the 8th day of 2020.
Well, interestingly, Mikey G, today is your day.
Yeah, I believe it is true.
Well,
It's always
it's a National Bubble Bath Day, and of course, we like to share um, different events celebrated worldwide, marking each day. So today, January 8th, is National Bubble Bath Day. When last have you had a bubble bath? I see everybody ripping out their baths and converting into showers. But if you remember, if you recall, the last day you had a bubble bath, it was a thing. Anyway, today is also National English Toffee Day, National Take the Stairs Day, Earth's Rotation Day, National Career Coach Day. So, and I always like to choose one or two of these days that are celebrated and just expound on them a bit. And of course, we get our information from daysoftheyear.com. And I'm fascinated about National Bubble Bath Day and why we would feel the need, of course, to celebrate this day. So let's see if we can find any information about.
I remember bubble bath. You know,
Remember?
first time I heard about it. You know, in fact, we used to see it on TV. You know, and watching TV is, just to tell you how much TV has influenced the minds,
Yes.
our minds growing up. And interestingly, we sometimes think that it don't anymore. So interestingly, some
Interesting.
people
Yes.
think that TV do not impact you anymore or what you see, you know. And I remember seeing a bubble bath, and I wanted to get bubble bath, and
You're right. It's
we
not
got
a man thing.
we got this.
Do men do bubble bath?
Is it a what?
Man thing.
In terms of what?
Masculine, feminine, bubble bath.
Bubble baths. Bubble baths
Yeah.
were never. I don't think bubble baths were ever a feminine or masculine thing. It was just a thing for just about anybody who wanted a bubble bath. In fact, what I usually see on TV was that the wife would set a bath for the husband.
You watch too much TV.
Yeah, the wife would set a bath for the husband, and of course she would make a bubble bath for him, or better yet, bubble baths for the kids, because it was a big thing,
Can I confess right now, Mikey G,
Yes.
that when we talk now, I am remembering the aroma of the bubble bath. While we're talking about it, and you're saying your mind, the mind is such a
You can even
fantastic.
smell it, huh?
I am even smelling it. I am smelling it right now. Smelling. Yes, but I interrupted you. Go
No,
ahead.
the ability for it is okay. The mind does this to you. But I know I'm just telling you about what happened to me, remembering bubble baths and what it was and how much
Yes.
I wanted to get it. And when I did get it, I poured it out in my tub. I set my tub and I poured it out in there and I stirred it up. But we couldn't wait for the bubble bath, at the time when we didn't have the bubble bath yet. Well,
Yes.
we have a soap called the Fab soap. And we just threw it inside and just make a whole lot of soda.
Yeah, but the bubble bath is supposed anyway.
Now I'm going to tell you that we didn't get it yet. But as kids, we are very innovative, We create things.
I know, right?
And so I just threw my mother Fab in the tub and started bubbling it up, and the next thing I know, here I am, bubble bath. Yeah.
Bubble bath.
Yeah, but my mother eventually got me one, so it was.
Yeah,
I I requested it.
You
I
requested.
wanted it.
Yeah, well, let's hear. Now, that first bath, bubbles rising up in a scent that would soon become associated with warmth, comfort, and safety. It started with the love of our mother's hands, and upon growing up, this became an opportunity for pampering. Rich bubbles, beautiful candles, quiet music, and a little time to ourselves have all been the hallmark of the bubble bath. Yeah, it used to be a thing for me. It's my relaxed time. Bubble bath day reminds us of these little luxuries and to take time out of our day to treat ourselves to a little special TLC, right? And of course, I remember, it can be therapeutic. And the history, that is what is fascinating to me. Bubble baths have been popular for as long as baths with surfactant based soap have been a thing. There are multiple practical uses for them, ranging from the unexpected, the curiously unthought of. Bubble baths have been renowned for their ability to soothe and relax. So you gotta get yourself a bubble bath today, Mikey G. But this doesn't actually address the more interesting reasons behind their popularity. You see, bubbles have the ability to help remove and prevent the nasty ring that forms around your bathtub, really, leaving you and your tub that much cleaner. Additionally, it can effectively preserve the modesty of one in a bath as the bubbles obscure vision. Additionally, the bubbles act as an insulator, preserving the heat of the bath and allowing you to luxuriate in it even longer. Bubble baths in general, speaking of the substance one puts in one's bath to cause the bubbles, are often pleasantly scented, and many of them are combined with ingredients that serve to help moisturize the skin and relax the bather. National Bubble Bath Day can be traced back for at least 2 decades, getting started as far back as 1999 with the purpose of encouraging a bit of self-care and relaxation. So you heard it right here.
Bubble baths.
Bath Day today.
Of course, it's almost time for our doctor to come on, and of course, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4, Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Welcome back this morning to the breakfast hour. Of course, welcome. Good morning, Dr. K. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Sir Mike. Good morning, Dr. G. Good morning, Lady Elise. How are you?
I am fine. It's been a whole. I haven't seen you from last year.
It's been a long
I
time.
I must now say that I am hurt that Dr. K has not checked in with her favorite patient. It's been since last
Since
year.
2020, since last year, right?
Yes, and I don't know what's happening with my health because I haven't checked in with you. It's been a minute. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine this morning. Just a little under the weather. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Because with the change of the environment, change of the temperature, at this point it is. I woke up to 46 degrees this morning. I woke up to 46 degrees this morning. It's presently 48 where I am. 48 degrees Fahrenheit where I am at this point. And, when you have such a big change in the temperature, you have to have ways of dealing with the fluctuations because, it's going to be 40s for the next few days, and then it's gonna warm back up, and then it gets cold again, it warms up again, it gets cold again. So the thing to do is to try to maintain our immune system. And with the holidays, there was a lot of things that you would normally do. You're out of sync with your and it's everywhere. You're out of sync with your normal sleep habits,
Mm.
eating habits, and so sometimes your immune system gets a little bit of beating.
Mm.
Let's say that. So it's a matter of now trying to boost your immune system again. But the thing about it, once your immune system was optimal, even though you weren't paying attention to it, and you might run it down a little bit, you'll be recovering very, very easily,
Yes.
if you keep it at a good stage. So we just want to talk about flu season, the colds, the common colds. There's a whole lot of viruses going around this at this time. We hear about how many there's so many of them, and we just
we're,
want to
we're
make sure
losing we're losing count, Dr. K. And
we're losing count. Yeah, that's correct, because every day you hear there's a new virus being formed, or there's a new virus coming from somewhere, and they're finding some new viruses everywhere. But we just have to maintain our
our
immune system.
And Dr. K, you started, and I must say, when you started and you spoke about the temperatures this morning, in Cayman Islands, we are always warm, right? And the change actually, it's affecting some of us here because there are a few friends that know who are actually under the weather, and today is 75 degrees, but it's a little cooler, but just that little drop in temperature is affecting us as well.
That's true. You find out that you're having a little bit more sniffles. Your sinus is probably draining a little bit more, and you might not have the flu. The flu, as in body aches and everything else, but you do have a little bit of respiratory um, reaction to the change and the fact that we're coming out of the holidays where we really weren't maintaining our immune system. We're just
Yes.
being back. And just that's just what it is. With the holidays, we're staying up late, we're not sleeping well, we're eating, we're just, I mean, yes, we're doing some things that build our immune system, like laughing and having fun and positive energy, but yet still we're doing other things that's beating us, and the temperature changes is not helping. So yes, it's important for us, even though when we go through different, and it's not just throughout this season, because
Right.
even though we live in a tropical environment, you'll be surprised how many persons have low vitamin D levels. Even people who do not live in places where there's no sun have low vitamin D levels. So it behooves us to ensure that we take our vitamin D supplements. Um, even, there was a thing that says, oh, black people don't get vitamin D deficiency because we have melanin, and that's a fable. It's not true.
That's false.
It is.
We
It
are
is not.
agreeing. We are agreeing that that is not a true statement because we are seeing an effect of it everywhere, and it's in the Caribbean.
Exactly. And there are persons, it all depends, and there are persons whose jobs don't allow them to see the light of the sun. They go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, and they leave at 7 o'clock in the evening. And where I am, sun sets at 5:40. So if you go to work from 6 to 6, you're not going to see the sun. Remember, the days are getting much shorter.
So
So you have to make a concerted effort to go into the sun, to get sunlight, and to actually get your vitamin D supplement. The thing about it, that even though there are places, I mean, I know places like the UK, possibly Canada. Even up north, there are some places where the sun, you're not seeing the sun as much, but the sun does come out, and you have to be purposeful in yourself. The only thing about it is that it's so cold, you don't want to go outside at those times. Because even though it's cold, the sun is there. The sun is coming out. It's just that it's so cold that you're bundling so much. There's nothing of you that's exposed to the sun. Possibly your eyes. And that's about it. You're bundled, so you're not as exposed to the sun. So even though the sun is there, because it's cold, you're not as exposed to the sun. So you have to be purposeful to make sure that you're getting the supplements. And even though it's cold, you can get a little sun. You can still try to get a little sun as much as possible.
well, when I listen to the conversation, Doc, I think we as human beings has become our own worst enemy by creating even the very jobs that we do. I mean, the jobs are necessary, but maybe we could change the environment in how the way we actually create those environments for our working conditions. Maybe get some sunlight in there somehow. But I realize that most persons are not so welcoming to be exposed to the sun in a lot of times, a lot of ways, and for some reason that's somewhere a very bad thing for many persons. The outdoor work is something that many people shy away from, and it's not something that is welcoming as many would think anymore. And of course, we find that even persons who do these jobs are somewhat looked down on in many ways. Here's the thing: I just discovered that those persons are exposed to the better elements and allowing themselves to be more healthier and possibly will survive longer based on that. It might look a little cruel in a ways, to say that, but this is what we have done. When I listen to it, I realize that the activity alone, the exercise that you do when you're outdoors working, but then we have created a society that sits every time in an office, sits in a car, go home, sits on a couch, and then go to bed. We have not done anything more. And so it is frightening when we see what we have done as humans to our own self, you know. And then I would ask Dr. K, here is what we're talking about: the immune system, or catching, having colds and different flu-like symptoms, different variants of diseases are in this area coming out every day, which that's another topic all by itself. I don't want to get into that, right? I don't understand where it's just like it just popping out of the sky, right? But here is a situation for persons who are experiencing this, as you said a while ago. What is the best mode of operation for that person or those persons who are exposed to this condition of not being exposed to the sun and basically are sitting at a desk most of the time and expecting to remain healthy and live a long, healthy life?
The thing about it, and yes, Mikey G, what we have to understand that we all do various activities and our jobs are different, and that's just how it is. And the persons who are outside and being exposed to the sun and having rigorous exercise, they have their level of problems too. They are breaking up their muscles, getting dehydrated, and are at risk for rhabdomyolysis, you know. And so they are at risk if they don't hydrate enough and get their electrolytes in. They're at risk because even though you're out there, those persons have to drink a lot more water and hydrate a lot more than those persons who are working inside because they're putting a greater demand on their kidneys. So it balances out. One person has a different set of problems. You know, those who are working outside are more exposed to the breakdown, creatinine increase, dehydration, electrolytes, um, abnormalities. Those people who are working inside are not getting the exercise that they need. So, you know, there are more risk for sedentary lifestyle related diseases. But it's a balance. So, you know, you are more sedentary in terms of your job, then you have to be, make sure you get that those exercise. So, you have to make sure you walk. Get get a smartwatch so you basically know, okay, set it. I'm going to take it 10,000 steps today. So every, what we're going to do every hour, every 2 hours, every 4 hours, you're going to be doing some walking. So walk around the desk. Don't make sure you walk from one place to the other. Walk to the bathroom. Drink water. So you have to walk to the bathroom. You gotta walk to the bathroom because that bladder is not gonna allow you to sit. So do things that are purposeful. So you walk around a little bit. And if at the end of the day you're deficient, then you have to go on a walk because you're setting yourself for 10,000 steps for the day. So at the end of the day, you're going to make sure you get that exercise in. And you're not going to be having enough vitamin. Of course, you might not have your vitamin D because you're not exposed to the sun as possible. But what you can do if you're living in a, well, if you live in the tropics or a tropical environment, then go outside in the middle of the day. Go outside for 15 minutes. Just go outside, walk around on the outside, take a break and come back in. You'll be surprised how much that changes everything so you get exposure to the sun. Um, and everybody needs to eat properly. Make sure you eat a balanced diet. Make sure you eat your fruits and your vegetables, and make sure you sleep. Sleeping is another thing that's so important. In it doesn't matter where you work, what you do in building your immune system. Because if you do not get your 7 to 8 hours sleep per night, then basically, you're at risk. And I was reading an article yesterday talking about sex and sleep. And they were saying people who do not get enough sleep actually decrease libido. Their testosterone levels decrease and their libido decrease. So people who get more sleep tend to have better, in terms of healthier marriages, healthier life, because they actually have greater libido than those people who do not sleep. So sleep is not just important. Sleep is just not important. It's important for everything. It builds your immune system. It helps you to repair your cells. So it's very important. And laugh, guys, laugh. Laughing is
Considering, I was about to say, considering the benefits of sleep, I'm thinking that just by being asleep with somebody, yeah, you get your you.
But a question comes to my mind, Dr. K, as we're speaking about the season, the change in the temperatures and what we would have done during the holidays that makes us a little bit more susceptible to being ill. Is this the right time though to consider getting like the flu shot?
it's you right. It's always a time to get the flu shot. Yes, coming in from autumn. I mean September, October, November, going up. the recommendation is that you get the flu shots because what happens is that there are many different strains, and the flu shot is based on the most common strain that is available at the time. So yes, we have the A1, A2, H1N1, H2, N2. So there are different strains of the flu virus that's going around, and that's not the weird ones like the norovirus and the other ones that are there. We're talking about just the regular influenza kind of flu.
Yes.
So based on the strain that's more popular at that time, the flu vaccine tends to be directed or geared towards what's happening now. So the flu vaccine this year maybe a little different from the flu vaccine last year or the year before because
Okay.
it's geared towards the most common or the most popular um, strain of the flu virus that's available at this time.
And the flu vaccine really does help.
It is supposed to help. It is supposed to help in terms of building that immune system. A lot of people, when they get the flu vaccine, they do feel um, they do feel like they're having the flu, but it's a little less than getting a full course of the flu. So yes, they might feel like they have the flu for a day or two, but remember that the flu kills more people than anything else.
Wow.
When you look at
Wow.
the general population, yes, the flu causes a lot more deaths than anything else. It's really significant that we don't really think so because we don't see a lot of persons, but the flu, RSV, there's a lot of complications, especially with our immunocompromised individuals. People who are healthy, as I say, once your immune system is good and you're immunocompetent, you are less likely to be affected. And even if you're affected, the effects of it isn't not as significant as other persons who are not as immunocompetent as you are.
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. It is important that we take care of our health. And of course, as you mentioned earlier, with persons who work on the outdoors, exposure to the sun and activities, they will require more hydration for just to remind our listeners who are actually actively engaged in these jobs that they should hydrate more so they don't have a situation or damage their bodies very badly in these conditions. And of course, for those who are indoors, I remember one of our listeners and of course one of our VIP members who sells a product called the Death Cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I remember that product being sold. I'm not seeing it advertised much.
What?
In
Tell me
recent
what that is. The what?
desk cycle. So it's a little equipment that sits under the desk, and it's like a bicycle pedaling thing system.
Oh, so you just
So you just keep while you're sitting at your desk, you just keep pedaling. So it's called a desk cycle. So you can, while not walking or anything, you keep moving those muscles in the legs. Um, so that's a product that I know is on the market, and of course is somewhat is
and you
somewhat
know, yeah,
used.
that's not a bad thing too because it helps to improve blood flow in the legs. So that's not a bad thing. It really isn't a bad thing.
I actually invested in one for my a relative of mine for Christmas gift some years ago, and she utilized that this cycle, and I've seen
Progress in that era.
but I tell you, it's as we're having a discussion, Dr. K. It's one thing, it's like everything is so related because we are less likely to go exercising, and all of that is part of building our immunity because it's so much colder. We have here in the Cayman Islands, we have been having like some light drizzle in the morning, so you wouldn't want to go and get wet, so you're not getting a chance to exercise. Because of what's happening, I went walking on Sunday and I hesitated before going in the water because I walked on the beach because it's so cold. I'm like, oh, so you're not able to do as much as you'd like to do. And then on top of that, Dr. K, while I was there was another young lady and she says, she's waiting for the sun. She's like, what's happening with the sun? She's waiting for the sunlight to come up, and I'm like, it's a cloudy morning, it's a little cold, but we have to try to make the best to take care of our health.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. There's so many things that's changing at
Yes,
this time. But we have to be intentional because even though we can't walk on the outside, oh, man, there's so many things. There's a walk video. There's a walk video on YouTube, which is awesome. I
yes,
don't know if you've ever seen it. So
I've
when
done
you
it.
can, yes, when you can't get to go outside, it's a good thing to do that walk video. It's really nice. I like it.
As a matter of fact, I feel like I'm a little bit more exhausted than when I go walking, when I do that.
Because she does. I mean, you be thinking that it's just simple walking, but man, when you walk backward, you walk forward, you walk to the
Yes,
side, you'll be
yes,
surprised that you're getting all that walking. When you're done, you're tired.
yes, yes, yes.
Well, I, living in the country is not a bad thing because those mountainous terrains can help you with some of that. And
Of
some
course.
persons who live in flat lands or plains that would not be exposed to that. And sometimes you wonder about persons who live in the country, and we sometimes try to play it down a little bit. Country people, kind of like make it look a little wrong. But when you listen to the conversation that we're having right now, those persons are
So tell
benefiting
me, yes.
are benefiting from some from some real exercise program. Look at the guys working outside and they're climbing up on the scaffoldings to make different things. They're climbing all day, climbing up, climbing down, nailing, moving stuff, picking up stuff, putting down stuff, pushing a
Yeah.
wheelbarrow, mixing some picking up some dirt or some aggregate or something. All of that is like it
Good for your
creates
health.
the
Yeah.
atmosphere of a healthy environment.
But I remember, I mean, even now, I mean, a lot of the schools, the children have to walk a lot to reach to their classes.
Yes.
I mean, it might be flatland in some places, and some places might not because it's cold. But there are lots of children who have to walk from one end of the campus to the other. And, you're talking about 10, 15 minute walk to reach to their classes. So it was intentional for them to build the buildings so far away from each other so these people can actually get some walk time in. And I remember I went to Knox, and if you know anything about that terrain, believe me, it was a hilly terrain. It's not flatland, it's hilly terrain. And
Right.
when you had to walk from one section of the campus, especially if you had English and then the next class was PE, which now you look at it, that's like 1 mile away. I mean, it's a hyperbole, of course, but it appeared to be 1 mile away, and you're walking, you had to get to your class on time. So, yes, we have to really, things are so much easier now. People are not walking as much, everybody is driving. And so, there are little things that you can do to get your exercise in. Park a little further from the store, so you can walk a little more.
Yes.
And if you have two stores to go to which are relatively close to each other, park one place and walk to both of them and then walk back.
Yes.
So it's some things that you can basically do. Yes, we don't have the shoveling and the jumping on a scaffolding and whatever it is, I don't know, building on the outside. We're not going to be able to do that. But there are little things that we can do to make sure that we get those exercise in. We have to get the exercise in. We have to. I know, as you said, Lady Elise, you went walking. Sometimes it's drizzling. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to go into the in the water. You don't want to go swimming because the water is cold. It's just what it is. It is cold. Not everybody has heated pools, so you can go into. But the water, the beaches are cold, and so you don't want to get into the water. Plus, with the rain, you don't want to go outside, and sometimes, yeah, you have a little bit of drizzling, a little squally showers, which you don't want to get exposed to because, yes, that again is gonna, put you in some situations. But you have to, actually go outside, waiting on the sun. Sometimes it doesn't feel like the sun comes up until 10 o'clock. You know, it's just what it is. You would normally go get some sun before you go to work. There's no sun. There's nothing to get. You go to work and the sun doesn't feel like you've gotten any sun.
Wow. Waiting on the sun. Dr. K, I want to tell you, for the best part of it, we have gotten so much
And
information.
drink your water, guys. Hydrate, 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 hydrate.
We have gotten so much tips and advice every single Wednesday right here. Of course, we want to say thank you this morning for coming on Wellness Wednesday this morning. Of course, for our listeners who have joined us, I want to say good morning to you. And of course, welcome if you're a first time viewer. Welcome. And of course, the question is, where have you been all this time? But anyways, catch us next week, same time, same place. I'm closing it, but there must be some final tips that you want to give to our listeners this morning, on just going out there, getting staying healthy during the season when it is so cold. One, the temperature, sorry, time is switching, and seasons are switching, and so we are finding the climate changing, and it is affecting the body. Any tips and advice going for 2025?
Yeah, just as you go through 25, make sure you put the intentional things in place to build your immune system. Whether you're going to be purposeful in your heart for proposing to make sure you exercise, you eat healthier, you drink more water, and you sleep well. So the best thing to do, and you take your supplements, of course. So and have positive energies, social ties. Make sure you have positive people around you. Make sure you laugh more. Make sure you have more fun. Avoid alcohol as much as possible and avoid smoking. I mean, I'm talking to people this is not just people who this is not Christian. The Christians are not the only one who watch the station. So make sure you decrease your alcohol intake and you avoid smoking as much as possible because those are things that help to damage your immune system. But the thing about it, and we've talked about this in our time, and managing your stress, guys, managing your stress. It's always important, in January after you've spent so much money over the holidays.
Over budget. Over budget.
We're
Yes,
talking about that this morning, there are things that we're supposed to be done.
situation now where you're going, oh my gosh, and then you start to stress and worry and can't sleep at nights because the bills are on you. But try your best, sleep. When you wake up, you worry about the bills, but sleep.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. K. Lisa, I think you're the final on this one.
Again, you said thank you, and I say thank you again, Dr. K. Today, always bringing relevant tips for us. So if you're located anywhere in the world and you would have gone through a very busy Christmas season, New Year's, and there's also the change in temperature, however slight it is, you have to share this video and share these tips that Dr. K presented to us. Remember to take care of your immune system and be deliberate take care of you. And Dr. K, I want to say take care of you. I hope that when we join you next week that you are feeling much better. You said you're a little bit under the weather, and but thank you
Yeah,
for pushing through and
yeah.
coming
See,
anyway.
I'm okay. It's just the little sniffles, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So, and of course, we look forward to hearing much more from you. So, looking forward to having a conversation with you next week. And of course, I would like you to perhaps one of these weeks speak of the things we need to throw away, those and
Awesome.
things we need to do
No, this
for
is good.
2025 so that
No
we'll have
mercy.
better health.
No mercy. No, that's something that is a good question. I love this concept of throwing away some things that you don't need for 2025. Thank you, Dr. K, for joining us this morning. And I know our listeners benefited from this experience, and I did too. I'm gonna go drink my I have a little cocktail that I make for myself, so
I'm up with my mint.
yeah, show off.
What was that? Any spirits?
Organic from the tree, freshly picked, freshly brewed. It's not in a tea bag.
Yes, and which one of the mint is it? Is it the colored mint, the black mint, the peppermint? Which one?
Really? All I know, it smells like mint, it tastes like mint, and it tastes really well. You know, the peppermint. This one I find it's not the French mint, but it's a bigger leaf than the peppermint. I need to get the right name for it.
Yeah, because there's spearmint, there's peppermint, there's I think the black mint is what we call the spearmint, the little one that runs on the ground. And then there's a peppermint, and there's this one that's called, I don't know, my mother used to call it the color mint. It's on a tree, it's a little bigger leaf. But
Yeah,
it has a different taste, but it tastes really, really good.
yes, this is it. This is it.
Yes. I haven't had that in a long time, that's really good. Yes.
Well, I guess for me, thank you guys for coming on this morning and for giving us these little tips of advice this morning and giving us so much to think about or even to consider of going forward. Of course, drinking my tea this morning is going to be the next thing on my list of things to do. Merciful Father, you created a damaged thing. Okay. So this morning, we thank you, Dr. K, for coming on and giving us so much tips and advice on how to keep healthy each day, each week, right here in Flashpoint. Hmm. All right.
That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
We're sitting on this morning, it was a very interesting one, intense even.
Listen, as intense as it is, it's time for the news. You have to pack everything in this intense morning.
Intense morning this morning. Of course, this morning news is brought to us by Asai Ultrasound for all your ultrasound needs right here in the Grand Cayman Islands.
Good morning. It's Monday, January 6th, and these are the news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. I'm Corley Karen. Caymanian boys' cancer fight draws community support. The Cayman Islands community has shown tremendous support for 4-year-old Cody Ebanks battling acute lymphoblastic leukemia. A fundraising campaign for his treatment at Nicholas Children's Hospital in Miami has surpassed 50% of its $50,000 goal, reaching over $26,000. Cody's father, Kervin Ebanks, expressed gratitude These are your news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. I'm Corley Karen. New Year, new beginnings at Royal Palms. The iconic Royal Palms site on 7 Mile Beach is set for a transformation. On Tuesday, the remnants of the beloved beach bar were demolished, making way for a new establishment. Former Calico Jack's owner, Handel Whitaker, who is leading the project, described the moment as, quote, a new year, a new beginning, end quote. Whitaker expressed his enthusiasm about bringing a vibrant new beach bar to the location, emphasizing that the demolition, which began earlier this week, is the first step in a long process. The new bar is expected to be completed within 6 months, but Whitaker said there's still much work to be done before setting an official reopening date. Hectic hurricane season makes 2024 the wettest year since 2005. Grand Cayman has experienced its wettest season in 19 years, according to the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Between May and November, the island recorded an astonishing 67.7 inches of rainfall, making the 5th wettest season on record. The heavy rains were attributed to a particularly active Atlantic hurricane season, which saw 18 named storms, including 3 hurricanes Beryl, Helen, and Raphael, that impacted the Cayman Islands. Hurricane Helene was the season's rainiest storm, delivering 12.5 inches of rain and winds reaching 69 miles per hour. Fire damages Georgetown Auto Shop. A massive fire broke out at the Excite Motors in Georgetown on Monday evening, leaving the building severely damaged. Emergency responders evacuated nearby businesses as firefighters worked to contain the blaze, which produced thick black smoke that blanketed the area. Thankfully, no injuries were reported as the building was unoccupied at the time. Investigations into the cause of the fire are ongoing. Advocating for the Cayman Islands financial services industry. The Cayman Islands financial services industry is world renowned for its transparency and adherence to global standards. Yet, persistent misconceptions continue to tarnish its reputation. Critics, particularly from high tax jurisdictions, often label the Cayman Islands as a tax haven, a stereotype that government officials and Cayman Finance argue is unfounded. In a recent opinion piece, it was highlighted the need for more robust advocacy to combat these false narratives. The call to action urges local leaders to emphasize the industry's legitimacy and its alignment with international financial regulations. Caymanian street food goes global with Vice series. Local chef Diego Smith has taken his street food business, D's Pizza, to the global stage, featured in the premiere of the Vice Munch's ex-Cayman Islands docuseries. Smith shares his journey from family cook to owner of a food truck serving Detroit-style deep dish pizza with a Caymanian twist. The video, which debuted on January 2nd, has already amassed over 260,000 views, shining an international spotlight on Caymanian culinary talent. In regional news, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles appointed Chancellor of UN University. Professor Sir Hilary Beckles has been named the new Chairman and Chancellor of the United Nations University. The prestigious appointment, effective May 2025, recognizes Beckles' global contributions to education and development. The university's Governance Council praised his leadership in higher education, citing his ability to drive innovation and strategic planning. Those were your news highlights and headlines on Flashpoint Radio. Please continue to stay with us for more updates throughout the day.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4, Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
impactful morning. I want to thank you for tuning in, for joining us. I want to encourage you to, of course, share the link to someone who needs to hear some good, good, good information this morning, taking care of your immune system. And of course, I want to thank Curly Karen for the able way in which she presented the news. A lot happening here in the Cayman Islands. Congratulations to that person who has transitioned from the passion of cooking and certainly has made the Cayman Islands popular. And when you put your passion and when it's not governed by um, you know, external factors, but you love what you do and you do what you do because you love it, of course, you will receive the benefits. And so I think once we learn that lesson in anything that we do, certainly we will feel accomplished at the end of it all and spending time. So I hope you would have garnered something from the breakfast hour. It's almost time for us to get out of the studio. But I must say thank you for joining us today and for sticking and staying.
I say thank you all for joining us, and of course for our doctor this morning for coming on and giving us so many tips and advice. For those who have listened and joined us each morning, each day, we want to say thank you. Being a part of the breakfast hour is always a great thing for me. So, I really take it with pride. And so this morning, indeed, we have had a wonderful morning, and no doubt we have indeed experienced something awesome this morning. Of course, catch you next tomorrow, same time, same place, when we do it all over again, right here on Flashpoint.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll see when outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever I'll be yours Are we part of this circus? Is it a day? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better. I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you
Corinthians 2:9 and 10.
No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love Him. But God has revealed it to us by His Spirit.
You're locked into the station that helps you tap into those incredible things that God is preparing for you.
You're listening to Flashpoint, the family radio.